Hey everyone, Harlan Kilstein here, and we're going to have some fun today. Last time we talked about what people do when they communicate. Typically, people do three things. Remember, they delete, they distort, or they generalize. Now, the model for dealing with this is explained probably best in the book The Structure of Magic, Volume 1. And they go through the entire what is called the meta model, which was developed by Bandler and Grinder to get to the heart of communication. For most people, if you're not a therapist, it's not necessary to know every element of the meta model. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at the main parts of the meta model that will help you become a more effective communicator. So pay attention, folks. Number one, and we have a way of remembering them. Number one is, we have it written down, all. People, that's an example of generalizing. People will say, all people who come to my website buy. Now, there probably isn't a website that has a 100% conversion rate where everyone buys, unless the price is free and they're giving away hot dogs or ice cream cones in a desert. It's not likely. So when someone says all, that's a generalization, and you challenge the generalization. Okay? The way you challenge that generalization is, now we look at the other hand, and we say all with a question mark. So the person has to reflect on the word all. The person has to reflect on their generalization. Next, the three, what I call the confidence killers, the three UDs. A person shoulda, a person woulda, a person coulda. And typically, the one that comes up the most is a person should. I should spend more time writing my emails. I should spend more time learning how to cook. I should spend more time reading the instruction manual of the new game that came. And the counter to the should is, what would happen if? What would happen if? What would happen if you didn't spend more time? What would happen if you didn't spend more time learning how to cook? Because people have in their mind that there is a one way. So what they're doing really is they are totally distorting their thinking. And when someone thinks should, typically it's not about them, it's about other people as well. Sometimes they'll talk about it in the third person. People should pay more attention when they're driving. Now, I think that that's typically a good thing, but maybe said in anger. Challenge the should. Okay, well, really? What would happen if they didn't? Crash, bang. So go after the shoulds, challenge them. The next thing are verbs. We used the example last time of my husband hurt me, and we didn't know what the hurt meant. It's what we call an unspecified verb. Did he hurt you by forgetting your birthday? Did he hurt you by beating you to a pulp? Did he hurt you by giving you a 2-carat ring instead of the 10-carat ring that you had your mind on and your heart on? It's a unspecified verb. Unspecified verbs are, in my opinion, the ones that you really need to go after. And the challenge to that is, how specifically did he? So in that case, how specifically did your husband hurt you? Oh, my husband hurt me because we're only taking a cruise to the South Pacific, and I really wanted to go around the world this time, but he said we're going to have to wait until next month. Okay, so you don't know what the word hurt means, and when you don't understand that and you don't really know, you are bound to create your own imagery. And finally, unspecified nouns. Now, unspecified nouns are also killers because you don't know who specifically they're talking about. So you want to ask them, what about that noun? You want to get in there and open up the conversation. Who are they talking about when they use pronouns? My mom is 82 years old. She just turned 82. And my mom talks in pronouns only. Unless you specifically ask her and stop her, she'll go on for 10 minutes talking about he, she, and so forth. She'll interchange the he, the she, the it, the thou. You don't know who she's talking about. And I'll stop and say, well, who exactly is the he? Who is the she? And sometimes they change in mid-conversation. I'm telling you, I should get a medal every time I have a conversation with her. These are the ways to open up communication. Most people are all doing these things. That's why we have a red stop sign here. The red stop sign says when you hear all, should, an unspecified verb, or an unspecified noun, you need to go after them. When you go after them, then you get a big green go. And the go says, now you have clear communication. Now you are not a communication wimp. And now, while you're sitting around and waiting for something to do, you can go over to the side of my website and buy something. Thanks. We'll be back tomorrow.